Hey, what's up there, youth pastors? Paul Turner here from the discipleproject.net, here with a great article for you today. If you are thinking about posting content for your teenagers, do you know where to post it? Are you posting it on TikTok? Are you posting it on Snapchat? Are you posting it on YouTube? Which ones are the best platforms for you to post on to reach your teens with devotions or announcements? Well, Pew Research has some new research out for you. So I thought I'd take a look at this article of what they were able to put together for 2023, and maybe this might help inform you as to where you're going to post content in 2024. So let's go ahead and jump into the article and take a look. All right, and here we are. We have Teens, Social Media, and Technology 2023. If you want to read this article for yourself, by the way, I am going to put a link down below in the doobly-doo there. You can check it out. YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram remain the most widely used online platforms among U.S. teenagers. I think if you're a youth pastor, you kind of know that. But the question is, do you know who is using what? Do you know what girls prefer to guys? Do you know what age groups prefer which platform to this platform? Despite negative headlines and growing concerns about social media's impact on youth, teens continue to use these platforms at high rates, with some describing their social media use as almost constant, according to a new Pew Research Center survey of U.S. teens. I think, once again, if you're a youth pastor or a parent, you know this, especially during youth service. The survey, conducted September 26th through October 23rd, 2023, among 1,453 13 to 17-year-olds, covered social media, internet use, and device ownership amongst teenagers. So you can see the graph right here. It says YouTube continues to dominate. Roughly 9 in 10 teens say they use YouTube, making it the most widely used platform measured in our survey. TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram remain popular among teens. Majority of teens ages 13 to 17 say they use TikTok, 63%, Snapchat, 60%, and Instagram, 59%. For older teens, ages 15 to 17, these shares are about 7 in 10. Then it says teens are less likely to be using Facebook and Twitter, recently renamed X, than they were a decade ago. Those are, yes, we understand that as youth pastors as well, that these platforms are for older crowds, and they have less features that would appeal to a teenager. Teens' site and app usage has changed little in the past year. The share of teens using these platforms has remained relatively stable since spring of 2022, when the center last surveyed on these topics. For example, the percentage of teens who use TikTok is statistically unchanged since last year. And for the first time, we asked teens about using Be Real. 13% report using this app. My teenagers use this app. If you're not familiar with it, it's an app where you get a certain amount of time to post, and then that post goes away, but you have, like I said, a certain amount of time to kind of view post and post your own things. I don't use it as much, but it's out there. It's a way for teens to cut down, actually, on their social media usage, because it's not constant. It's you post, you have a certain amount of time, and then you can't post again for, I think, 24 hours. So how often do teens visit online platforms? In addition to asking teens about the types of platforms they use, we also ask them how often they use 5 specific platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. YouTube, the most widely used platform measured in the survey, is also frequently visited by its users. About 7 in 10 teens say they visit the video sharing platform daily, including 16% who report being on the site constantly. Right? And I'm thinking that Shorts has a big part to play in that you can watch Shorts just like you can watch Shorts on TikTok or Shorts on Instagram. But YouTube, because it was kind of the first big thing in the game, right? It kind of translates that now that YouTube is doing Shorts, it's become much more accessible or fun to use, or it's similar in fashion to TikTok and some of the other platforms that are out there. At the same time, 58% of teens are daily users of TikTok. This includes 17% who describe their TikTok use as almost constant. Once again, we know that. About half of teens use Snapchat and Instagram daily. A somewhat larger share reports using Snapchat almost constantly compared with Instagram. I can tell you that Snapchat is constantly used in my Sunday school class. I can tell you that for sure. But here's the interesting part, and here's where I think you can look at this depending on the kind of content you're putting out and where you want to put that content. So by gender, teen girls are more likely than boys to say they almost constantly use TikTok, 22% versus 12%, and Snapchat, 17 to 12. So if you want to communicate with your teen girls more, maybe it's about posting on Snapchat or having a private group of some sort there. But there's little to no difference in the share of boys and girls who report almost constantly using YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And then it has it by race and ethnicity. We also see differences by race and ethnicity in how much time teens report spending on these platforms. Larger shares of Black and Hispanic teens report being on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok almost constantly, compared with smaller share of white teens who say the same. Hispanic teens stand out in TikTok and Snapchat use. For instance, 32% of Hispanic teens say they are on TikTok almost constantly, compared with 20% of Black teens and 10% of white teens. Okay, let's drop back down here to by gender. Teen girls are more likely than teen boys to say they use Instagram. So I think that becomes a place where you're going to put more content focused towards young ladies. So maybe if you have a female volunteer who likes to create content, or a young, an older high school student who wants to share content, maybe Instagram is the place to go for that content to live, because teen girls are more likely than teen boys to use Instagram. Be Real, TikTok, and Snapchat, and Facebook are also commonly used by teen girls. On the other hand, teen boys are more likely than teen girls to use Discord, and that's mostly, I believe, to video games. Whether it's Call of Duty or whatever game they're playing today, they're on Discord. And so I think that Discord then becomes a popular place for guys to be able to hang out or chat or play their video games. And that might be a place that you want to see if your teens are connected to that at all. And if they are, well, then figure out, how do I use this platform to engage with students? And it is 34 versus 22%. And Twitch, 22 versus 11%. Once again, I'd say that's attributed to gaming channels. Similarly, a large share of boys than girls use Reddit and YouTube. Then by age, older teens are more likely than younger teens to use many of the platforms asked about, including Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. For example, while 68% of teens ages 15 to 17 say they use Instagram, this share drops to 45% among teens 13 and 14. So that tells you about your high school group usage and your middle school group usage. How can you then post content to reach high school kids versus middle school kids? And then by age, older teens, 15 to 17, are somewhat more likely than younger teens to be near constant internet users. We know this. And I think that's true because they're high school, and I think that parents are putting more clamps or safety devices or usage devices, those kind of things, setting limits for middle school kids, and maybe even giving their middle school kids phones later. I know there are some students that applies to in my group. And then if we drop down by gender again, it says most teen boys and girls report having access to game consoles at home, but more boys than girls use this, 91 to 75%, which then also clues in, because they're using their using their game consoles. Well, the question is, well, maybe do you need to start some sort of gaming group online where you can reach more teenagers there and be able to connect with the students you have, but maybe also, that's a place where they feel more comfortable inviting their friends into a gaming platform rather than a social media platform. All right, and that's the lowdown from the Pew Research Center, but I'd like to hear from you. What applications are your students using? What platforms are they on? Are they on Snapchat more than they are on TikTok? Let me know down in the comments below. But I'd also like to know, do you have a strategy for reaching these students? Are you reaching girls over here versus boys over here? Are you using Discord? Are you using consoles? Are you dividing your content distribution to reach different kinds of students based on age and gender? I'd love to hear from you as well on that. And if you'd like to watch more videos on my culture and commentary, well, there's a whole bunch of videos right over here you can check out. Or if you just need some youth ministry advice, well, you can check out this list right over here. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out, being a part today, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.